Hey there, Tammy Kabell, founder and CEO of Career Resume Consulting, and I'm really excited to be sharing this information with you today. So today, I wanted to talk about how to start an interview in a way that you hadn't thought of before that will really capture the attention of your audience, which is it could be the recruiter, it could be the hiring manager, it could be a peer, it could be the president of the company or the CEO. So I wanted to talk with you about a different way of starting that may capture their attention rather than just put them into critiquing mode. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So first of all, I need to explain something about neuropsychology. So there is the neocortex, the new brain, if you will, and that is the outside of the brain, and that is what deals with facts and figures, but it's also not the decision-making brain. That is the facts and figures brain. That is also the critiquing brain. That is the filter that will keep someone from loving you. So how do you get to their middle brain, which is the mammalian brain? That mammalian brain is actually older, and it formed before the neocortex, and it is the decision-making brain. You've probably heard that people make decisions, whether it be buying decisions or even hiring decisions, they make them emotionally and then they justify them rationally. That's absolutely true. So let me give you an example of a way that I have discovered that really works better than starting an interview with your credentials, your facts, your figures, and trying to persuade them from the get-go, okay? So instead of doing that, come from the aspect of giving. You want to give them information without anticipating anything in return. And I know that's really hard to understand with an interview because you have been told all of your lives that interviews are there for you to persuade them to hire you. It's all about what are your credentials, what are the facts and figures. Those are important, but not in the very beginning. You actually have to capture their interest and allow them to become fans, and the way that you do that and really get them to be your internal champion, even if they're not the hiring manager, is to start with a story. Start from coming from the point of giving without anticipating anything in return. So instead of when they say, "So tell me about yourself," which of course they always start an interview with, instead of saying, "Well, you know, I've got this degree and I've got this number of years of experience and I rose to this level in this company," and all of that, that's okay later in the answer, but to really draw them in, to really get them interested in actually leaning forward, you need to bypass the neocortex and talk specifically to their mammalian brain, which is storytelling. Storytelling is the oldest form of communication that human beings have. And so think of it as coming from talking about them rather than talking about you. I'll give you an idea of what that sounds like. So if they say, "So tell me a little bit about yourself." Well, you know how there are some companies that have reached a certain level of growth. They may have gotten to $40 million in annual revenue, but they have stagnated at that point, and they really don't know how to get to the next level by really working with bigger competitors, getting those bigger accounts, and really getting a larger market share. They don't know how to do it. Well, that's where I come in. See, that's what I'm able to do, is really get that company to get the bigger accounts, to land those big companies that are hard to land, those key accounts, and I'm able to grow a company exponentially. In other words, you've started talking about perhaps them, what their situation is. So that means that you need to do your homework before you get into the interview with them and find out or anticipate what might be a pain point for them, because people buy based upon solving a problem or solving a pain, or they buy to get to an aspiration. So when you're talking about, for instance, when I just said there are some companies that have reached a certain level, maybe they've gotten through the recession and they're doing okay, but they're not really growing anymore. Well, then that's where you come in and you talk about your specialty, your expertise, in the way of, this is what I'm able to do for companies, and this is the end result. But you say that after you start with, you know how there are some companies that blah, 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 okay? So you start with something other than yourself, and that will draw them in. You may even see them leaning into the conversation, waiting for you to say what you're about to say, because they're very interested in the way that you're approaching this. And then you can go into having 20 years of experience in business development at the highest levels. I've been able to help companies, possibly like your own, that have not grown in the past years and really want to compete at a much bigger level. So you're talking about them, but it's how you can solve their problem. Okay? So come at it from a point of giving them your ideas, your thoughts, your discoveries, what you learned, the best practices over the years, and give that to them without any expectation that you're going to get the job. You just want to share your ideas. You want to share your best practices. That's a perfect way to start a conversation in an interview that will really get you noticed. So I hope this information has served you today. I'm really glad to be talking with you and sharing this information. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, coming from a place of sharing and giving, that's why I do these videos. I'm not expecting anything in return. I want to help you get your next 6-figure or 7-figure position, or even 5-figure if you're not there yet. But most of the time we work with 6- and 7-figure executives. So if you'd like to talk with us about our services, you're welcome to call our office at 816-600-2478, or you can email me directly at Tammy, Tammy, at beyondjobsearching.com, and you can get on the schedule for either me if I'm available or one of my top executive coaches, and they would be happy to help you and discuss your situation and how best to tackle it. And if there's a fit, then we may propose services, but we never propose services unless it's at least 5 to 10 times ROI for you, and that we feel comfortable that we can get you a lot more money than you are investing in yourself. So I'm thankful that you spent the time with me today, and I look forward to talking with you again. If you've got questions about your own search, put them below. I would love to hear them. I answer every question as I have time. And if you've got an interview question, even if you've got a resume question, put it down and I'd be happy to answer that. All right? Even a negotiation question, which is secret sauce. Please, I'd love to hear your questions, and I'd love to hear about your successes as well. So I hope this has served you, and have a wonderful week, and I will talk with you soon. Bye now.